Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Guys and gals and in-between pals, this is their time of the week to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, episode number 240. That's right, Venezuela, Minnesota, and just crimes, plus funny memes. I am joined by my beautiful co-hosts from the left coast, Brane Damage.
Woohoo! Like, subscribe, all the good stuff.
And coming in from occupied South Canada, it's Quiet Michael.
We are under siege.
And we are going to have some funny memes about it. But first, a patented, trademark, copyrighted, absolutely essential part of every show. You know it. You love it. You know what I'm talking about. It's this really cool thumbnail. Sorry, guys. I mean, I got to milk this because, you know, I don't do them this good most of the time. Mostly they're kind of cheesy like this. But, you know, I was like, flames. We look great. Nope, I'm talking about the depressing news. Oh my God!
We're number
so
one.
hilariously, you remember we went into Venezuela because we were going to steal all their oil. Turns out that the oil companies aren't interested. Kind of feels like in all those months of planning, and I'm trying to do air quotes as hard as possible. Planning, somebody would have thought to ask the oil companies if they had any interest in this garbage. So, that's what I'm thinking. Meanwhile, the siege in Minneapolis is just going on without end. Today, numerous videos of all kinds of crazy stuff. I saw gas stations being raided, ICE breaking into a home with guns drawn while the woman shouts, "There are children in this house. There are children." They are going door to door. But I did notice they're not going mansion to mansion. They seem to be going very small houses that could use some obvious, work. Anyway. It's all the fault, of course, of cosplay Ice Barbie here. You remember this puppy-killing plasticized bag of fascism. Well, she gave a news conference, several of them. This particular one with the one of ours, all of yours, which many people pointed out, including the sweary historian James Fell, and I truly should follow this, echoing the themes of Nazis, just dog whistling to Nazis from the podium. So there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of it. And I mean, I feel like it's like cockroaches. Like if you see one, there's like lots more hiding, it's just kind of terrifying that way. Also, and can you tell that I'm stretching to find my memes? Cosplay Barbie, Ice Barbie, it was back in the news today. Well, back in the memes, I should say, because of a bit she did on State of the Union where she said, "We can't trust the government anymore." And the interviewer says, "Well, you are the government." She says, "Yes, that's what I'm saying." And I was like, well, yeah, it's weird to agree with her, but I mean, so say we all. I posted this gif of a Bratz doll because she just gives uncanny Bratz Valley vibes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like crazy. Joe came in with this, and I really appreciated the overly large hat and shoulder pads. I will allow AI if it makes me laugh. I'm just going to make that the new rule of Facebook for the Blind. Today, the Department of Justice had 4 senior representatives resign. Apparently, over the January, they've been sidelining the criminal section from investigating the January 7th shooting of Renee Nicole Good by ICE. So that is incredibly abnormal. And these 4 people, quit. They said, there's other reasons, of course, but this is just, absolute garbage. So that, to give you an idea of just how off the rails it is, people are leaving the Department of Justice rather than participate in this nonsense. In New York City, where we always follow our brothers and sisters, the nurses, nearly 15,000 nurses walked out of New York City hospitals Union said the nurses went on strike at major hospitals because healthcare managers refused to agree to safe staffing levels and threatened cuts to health benefits. Can you believe that? Cutting health benefits of nurses? That's a sin. I'm certain that's a sin. That's got to be a cardinal sin. Michael, do you know any cardinals we could check with?
I'm
Anyway,
not
I'll get
I'm
back.
not going to comment on this for like 7 different reasons.
All right, fine, be that way. I'm just getting wuss. That's what I'm about to get wuss. uh, Facebook for the Blind, your source for news. We always like to close out with a nice heartwarming animal story, and monkeys are on the loose in St. Louis after a 4-day search. How cool is that? Come on, how cool is that? That is a cooler story than most, and so nearby. So there's a chance I could go see these monkeys, which makes me very, very happy. Um, One of the most interesting stories that I saw, though, over the last 24 hours was they said that apparently AI is now complicating the search for the monkeys because people are posting images of these Reese's monkeys, or not Reese's, I'm sorry, they're vervet monkeys. Sorry, wouldn't want to offend any monkeys out there for me not getting their pronouns right. And they're looking for them, and they're just getting it all difficult. They're getting some real difficulty there. But I actually had to make a meme because I was like, "Come on!" And it's just here. We got this vervet monkey dressed in a hat and a tie and a jacket. And, sir, have you seen any monkeys? Nope. Again, I made something that made myself laugh, and I have to thank God for that. TD, I thought of you for this one. Science, friend of the show, Science. Science, thanks for all the muffins and the cards and letters. You're lovely.
Hey, science.
Said a group of gifted word learner dogs can learn new words that label objects by overhearing their owners talking with each other, according to a new study. These dogs can map out a new word to a new object, even when the word or object was not presented simultaneously. Together, these abilities put these special dogs in the same word learning level as 18 to 23-month-old children. Findings suggest that humans are not the only animals that can learn labels by overhearing third-party interactions when the shit's not there. How fun is that?
I believe it.
The dog, I didn't. Because I'm just like, I didn't know dogs were that smart. That's pretty smart, man. Pretty impressed. Hey, pandas are officially no longer endangered. Come on. Come on. This is why we do the heartwarming animal closers, because monkeys are funny. WTOL 11 posted this video. I highly recommend you look it up. If you're not following WTOL 11, you are missing out. Here we have a Polish zoo that had video that captured the moment that a tiny deer showed an enormous rhinoceros who was boss. And you can see Bambi charging a rhino. Okay. He just runs up on him like, oh, yeah? And the rhino, like, he's not into it. He's just like, he kind of does a little show for us, but he gets chased off by Bambi. Freaking astounding. I love this planet sometimes. And I just wanted to make sure as we wrap up, we wrapped up 2025 and we're heading into 2026, and you know how much I love animals, and this one just spoke to me. We have the raccoons on a dumpster fire, and it says, "Let the flames of this year's dumpster fire guide you into the new year." And I feel that is all the sentiment that is worthy of reporting for January 13th, 2026, living in the future. And handing it over to my beautiful co-host in occupied South Canada, Quiet Michael.
Thanks, Eric. I'll take it from here. Here comes my big, long, round one. Kicking it off with... Oh, man. Kicking off the wholesome round with James 7T, who says,
James?
"Man, if I saw an elf, nobody would be able to stop me." Cryptotheism says, "From what?" James says, "Nobody would be able to stop me." I hate it when we all know. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
I don't like knowing. I want to not know.
Ew.
All right. Next up, we have Cletus, friend of the show and probably a relative of mine. Here comes Cletus. Cletus says he's taking a Hooters waitress on a date. to a different Hooters on her night off.
Oh,
Listen,
oh.
everything in me says this is real. Like,
Yeah.
I firmly believe that this is very real. No dogs in the race. Dear friend of mine, friend of the show, we love you. Has this conversation. We don't know who's talking, but the first person texts, the neighbor's kid challenged us for a water fight. And they say, I'm in. Just waiting for the water to boil. He says, what? King Josh, friend of the show, King Josh. He this I know TD's not on the dais tonight, but it sure made me think of him. King Josh says, I played the bong in high school. Trash can Paul. He's here in the first round, ladies and gentlemen, keeping it fucking nasty.
Wow.
TD, what's this actor's name, please? He's the
Mads Mikkelsen.
bad guy from Casino Royale. Mans?
Yep.
His first name is Mans?
Mads. He's from like Norway.
Okay. They got weird names there. He's wearing a
You want
tweed
them
suit in the
first.
second one. He looks like a bum in the first one. And in the first one he's saying, "Oh shit, I farted. Sorry." And in the second one where he's wearing a tweed suit and he looks really buttoned up, he says, "Pardon me. I had an anal cough." I have two more for this round. Rusty, friend of the show, Rusty at I'm Smiling RN.
Hey, Russ.
He says, after my card declines, he says, strange. That account has $1 million in it. And my last meme for round one, the wholesome round, is Mickey Friedman at Mickey X Friedman, who says, my darkest day was in fourth grade when my parents discovered I was giving divorced couples marriage advice on Yahoo Answers. They laughed as they read my comments back to me. I was shaking like a leaf. And that's all I have for round one. Kicking it over to brain damage.
Oh my. Woo!
Okay, let's start this thing off with a heartwarming animal story. Why not? ABC News tells us that Claude, the albino alligator that from touched the lives of countless children during his time as the unofficial mascot of the California Academy of Sciences, and now he's going to be officially named with a street name in San Francisco, Golden Gate Park. Yes, the albino alligator that I grew up loving in the California Academy of Sciences, which is one of the only places they take us for free on field trips in public education, has passed away. R.I.P. Claude. I'm glad he's getting a new street sign. But recently, my class was talking about going to the California Academy of Sciences, and I was like, "Fuck that place. Claude's not there no more."
Dead to me.
Comedian Karen Buchanan from has posted unappreciated puns. Here's a 2-panel, and we have Bubs from The Wire and his sponsor. I think his name was Walter or Walton or something like that. I don't remember. T, you remember?
No, I have no knowledge of this show.
All right. Oh, God damn it. We've stumped TD.
Wow.
All right. So
Wow,
hold on.
early
let
in
me get
round
out my
one.
bucket list real quick so I can check something off. Got it. So we have Bubs from The Wire, with I think his sponsor's name is Walter, and Walter is saying to Bubs, I've only got 2, maybe 3 Motown puns left in me. And in the second panel, he says, 4 tops. And Bubs looks absolutely disgusted. Motown pubs.
That's awesome.
3 years ago, brain damage. I don't know who that guy is. He says, I just heard a kindergartner try to tell a joke, and the other kids laughed, and she says, sheesh, tough crowd. This kid is going places. Yeah. In the comments, my wife asked, what joke was it? And I said, it was an old joke I told them a few months ago. It was basically, it said, what's invisible and smells like carrots? And the answer there, Eric, is bunny farts. Yeah. I was just like, I told them this joke when school started in August. How the fuck does she still remember it in January? But
They never
again,
forget.
the kid
They
is going
funny joke.
places. Here we go with homegrown puns, and there's an AI picture of what looks like Marilyn Monroe's dress. But this character's got some pointy shoes, a staff, a wizard hat, and long white beard and hair, and he is labeled Merlin Monroe.
Uh-huh.
You see that wind is still blowing his dress up. I don't know if he really has magic powers if he can't control that wind. Or maybe we're on more fart jokes. Who knows? Ricky 9mm says NASA is launching a satellite to say I'm sorry to the aliens. They're calling it Apollo G.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Ow.
Here we got photoshops by Jeffy. I don't know who this guy is, but he suggested to me, probably because of all the dumbass shit that I post on here. And here we have a picture of what looks to be Boy George's outfit and hat holding a microphone, but it is the face of, I'm assuming, Soldier Boy, because it says Soldier Boy George. And the caption is, do you really want to hurt me? All right.
You know, I hate your puns, but I love your singing, Brain.
Brain Damage Studios. I think I'm going to battle them. But they posted a picture of a plate with what looks like maybe some cut up pancakes, but there's some dark chocolate, some light chocolate, some fluffiness. And it is in the shape of a tennis shoe, and it is labeled tiramisu.
I'd eat that.
Tiramisu, TD.
Yeah.
The one and only Jules has a picture of Show Enough, who's the master, with his big grin and one eyeball open and one eyeball closed, and says how I look every time I got something in my eye. Yeah. This is tracking for me way too hard. Way too hard. Hand of the Meme has a 2-panel, and in the first panel we see Andre 3000 in his infamous green getup from the song Hey Ya. And but in the background it is a Mortal Kombat background with the open air stairs like they took to Squid Games, and a monk off praying, and Andre is screaming, "What's cooler than being cool?" And instead of ice cold, the monk says Sub-Zero, and then there's 4 Sub-Zeros, and he says, "All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right." Stupid shit. This one's for you, TD. Hacksaw Duggan. So the character He-Man series was missing one character, and here we have Wrestlers of the Universe, and it is Trapjaw from He-Man, but he is superimposed to be like Hacksaw, and he has a 2x4 on his shoulder, and he's labeled Trapjaw Jim Duggan. Trapjaw Jim Duggan. Ho! And I think this one's the last for me for this round. Somebody named Michael Schilling has a piece that says Die Hard, but it is Bruce Willis tie-dyeing a bunch of shirts with a bunch of tie-dye paint. Die Hard. The die is spelled D-Y-E, hard. See, it's not a Christmas movie after all. It's a hippie movie, TD. Passing it off to you, Eric.
Yeah, Die Hard was actually originally a pagan festival.
Nice.
I love you guys. Heading into the ostensibly wholesome round, round 1, experiencing new technical problems every single time we do this show. 240 episodes later. Absolutely unbelievable. Thanks for sticking with us, guys, through all the stuff. E-Bombs World, remember E-Bombs World, friend of the show, has this poster where they send into the Photoshop guy and he fixes things and says, "Hi, James. I would love this photo of me and my girlfriend, but I'm worried about sending it to my family. Can you make it a little bit less revealing, please?" And we see a boy and his girlfriend who is kind of hanging out of her low-cut dress. And he sent the picture back, of course, and has put him into a turtleneck. Good job, Brane. Fans, Globetrotters. Again, you might want to fight them too, Brane. Says, found this great mnemonic. We have a picture of the 5 Great Lakes, and it says, Lisa likes licking lettuce lightly. For Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Oh, that really is easy to remember. Lisa likes licking lettuce lightly.
Ew.
I'm never going to forget them now. Here we have a picture of a woman vacuuming in the desert. It says, when your boss comes around the corner and you grab the closest thing to you to look like you're working. Moving on. The Onion, my former employer, has this picture of a teenage douchebag looking at you cockeyed. And it says, insecure, frustrated bully with something to prove, considering a career in law enforcement. And folks are like, good news. He doesn't even need to graduate high school to get the job with ICE. Or I found out do a sit-up. So guys, get up tomorrow. And if you can do a sit-up, you're probably better than ICE.
Or if you just have a Nazi tattoo, they'll let you in.
Oh, that's true. Dude, a journalist I was reading about today confessed to several ongoing drug habits and got offered an interview. Not that I'm saying that drugs don't make you cool, but anyway, moving on. Friend of the show, XKCD, has this 4-panel entitled Planetary Alignment. It says, yeah, the inspection revealed a few problems. It looks like your planet needs an alignment. Oh? Yeah, your magnetic axis is 4 miles off center from your rotational one. Is that bad? Yeah, the unbalanced magnetic field could cause radiation anomalies over the South Atlantic. Have you noticed any spacecraft equipment failures in that area? Oh, yeah, there have been a few, actually. Yeah, we can give you a loaner planet while yours is in this shop. Gas giant, okay? I'd really prefer a solid surface. Sorry, it's all we have, but it'll just be for a few days. Hey, we're going to need to modify a surface to mount it on a test stand. Which ocean basin do you like the least? I liked it. Moving on. Here we have a nice classical painting of a man with his plant, perhaps a tomato plant, perhaps a geranium. A geranium, I believe. It's like a classic 17th century looking dude and some little spectacles, and he's got a weird collar from back in the day and a strange coat, you know. And this classic painting says, I eat salads in front of my plants to assert my dominance. See, so if you weren't feeling like you were, you know, quite as at the top of the food chain as you wanted to be, go ahead. Start your day eating a salad in front of your plants. Remind them who's on top of the food chain. About halfway through here with a post from anti-QAnon memes. And if you're not following anti-QAnon memes, I worry that you may not have built up your anti-QAnon resistance enough. They were talking about this fun story in the Second World War, you know, Special Operations Executive and the OSS, that was the predecessor to the CIA. They came up with this fun, effective sabotage device known as a cockoloop, which I think is absolutely awesome. Cockoloop, you know, you've heard of putting sugar in gas tanks. You know, this is actually a powder that's super hard, and you put it into the engine's crankcase or oil filler rather than in a gas tank. And the result is that it actually welds the metal parts of the engine together. And I wouldn't tell you about this except that, look at this. Silicon carbide is 600 pounds for $4.90. This is the most affordable fun you can have. 600 pounds. Do you know how many oil crankcases you could do? You could weld. Yeah, that's a lot of engines, guys. That is just super amount of fun. Friend of the show, Christian Yanakis, has invited the girl in this story to her show. Sam Bergman at Viola North at Blue Sky Social says, 12-year-old girl signed up to do stand-up comedy at the talent show. 13-year-old boy decided to heckle her. Teacher started to tell the boy to leave her alone, but the 12-year-old comedian said, no, let him go. This is the closest he's ever going to get to having a conversation with a girl.
Legend.
And to Kristen's, she's welcome at my mic. I told her, I was like, you know, she might just bring the level of maturity your show is lacking.
Word.
Anti-QAnon meme, second appearance in the first act with this from the halfway post. Breaking, Nicolas Maduro reportedly went to the prison doctor this morning because he strained several abdominal muscles, laughing while watching a news report on how the major oil companies are refusing Trump's offers to invest in Venezuela because of the costs and instability. We wish Nicolas Maduro a speedy recovery on his abdominal muscles. And finally,
I don't
best
wish
and
him
worst.
shit.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck everybody in that meme.
That's true. Okay. Uh, best and worst of Twitter too has this post from Slakai Psycho from the confession booth. Me. I committed all 7 deadly sins in 30 minutes. Priest. Wow, I gotta hear this. I was angry and envious of my neighbor, so I lazily seduced his wife and ate all his groceries, and I didn't share. You forgot pride. No, I'm pretty proud of this. And that has been my ostensibly wholesome round. How wholesome? Handing it back to you, Michael,
Cool.
for an ostensibly second round.
Yeah, here
Allegedly.
comes round two, the ostensibly second round. We have no dogs in the race. They're back again. This time there's a
Wow.
picture of a fire, and it says Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump have more pictures together than me and my dad.
Oh, shit. Damn. Damn. Oh. Wow.
This really AZ Delam. I'm wondering if that means Arizona. Says I've been called weird, but never unfunny. Let that sink in. Oh, that resonate with a few of us here. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this. Hardtimes.net, friend of the show, the hardtimes.net. Listen, if you're not following the Hard Times, follow them. They have this picture of a bunch of ICE agents, and this headline reads, Heroic ICE agent recovering in hospital after near fatal jerk sesh.
Oh.
It was very dangerous. Hard Times is back. Picture of
Hey.
some guy with an open shirt playing guitar, and there's a picture of the devil behind him, and it says, Punk sells soul to devil to get worse at guitar. Oh, friend of the show, Trash Can Paul, keeping it nasty. This time he teamed up with Shithead Steve. This is a picture of Jake Gyllenhaal looking forlorn. And it says, the first 12 months of the year are always the hardest.
Yes.
Couple more. Round two. Trash Can is back, and he says, Paul Revere saved me from this. And you see he's retweeted somebody from England, and it says, rate this minted mushy peas.
Oh,
And it's just 2 cups filled with mushed up peas.
dude, that's a real food. I've eaten it. It's a real
Fucking
food.
British.
Baby food.
This isn't a meme so much as it is a picture from our city here in Minneapolis. This cat is standing right in front of ICE, and he's holding up a sign that says, Nazi punks, fuck off.
Spoken like Jello Biafra.
Love it. And my last meme for round two, the ostensibly second round, Benny Feldman. He says, my
Okay.
buddy lost his job to AI. It was his job to chug thousands of gallons of water at a data center. That's all I got for round two. Back to you, Brane.
All right, TD.
Yeah.
Time to take close your eyes and your ears. I promise
You
there's a
son
point
of
to this one.
Mother.
This is photo edits by Sean has an AI picture of the Men in Black
Oh no!
with Terrence Howard's face superimposed on them. It's the sci-fi classic Mains in Black.
Dude, this one doesn't look that different.
It doesn't.
No, it took me a minute to actually see the difference.
Like Tommy Lee Jones looks basically the same.
Yeah, Tommy Lee
Yeah,
Jones, like you
that's-
could see it a little bit, but
Oh,
Will
yeah,
Smith,
no,
you
it
can't.
works. It works.
Mains in Black. All right, Maine. And then photo edits by Sean. It's the bird Maine of Alcatraz with Terrence Howard on The Birdman of Alcatraz. He is holding a bird. And then we have photo edits by Sean. Let's blame it on the main that was falling. It's him as Milli Vanilli.
Once
And then
again,
we'll switch.
love to hear you sing, Brain.
I forget
We'll
about
s-
Milli Vanilli for years at a time.
Oh, dude, I got Milli Vanilli and Terrence Trent D'Arby on like loop all the time.
Yeah,
I practically
don't watch that Menendez brothers show because that Blame It on the Rain, it was stuck in my head for like 8 weeks after that shit. It was traumatizing, very traumatizing. Anyways, we have Nikki at PFF_Nikki who posted a picture of Philly just lost at home to the 49ers who are missing 16 starters, bro, and it's a picture of Christian McCaffrey pointing. But they have A.J. Brown holding up a Butterfinger, a giant Butterfinger, because he dropped 3 passes that game. And then they have A.J. Brown's body with Wiz Khalifa looking high as fuck, photoshopped in on his head. My bad, A.J. Brown. 49ers wide receiver Juwan Jennings threw a touchdown in that game. He also threw one in the Super Bowl. And playmaker TD and 4 others posted underdog at underdog, and it says Juwan Jennings when the 49ers needed a spark. But it's just a picture of the real GOAT, Joe Montana. Yeah. At least the playoff GOAT. And then they also posted something from Greg Rosenthal that says Juwan Jennings was actually a 4-star dual threat QB recruit, ranked ahead of Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. And then here we show that going into college, he actually was ranked number 5th in the nation. That's crazy. I did not know that. But we also have Playmaker TD reposting the Simpsons NFL, and it shows the 49ers roster this season, and it just shows all the Simpsons characters laid out on the floor dead. Everybody's hurt. And Kittle got hurt in that damn game. And then we show our SF 49ers posted a picture of Rocky, but they photoshopped in Brock Purdy's face on Rocky. Bam, 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 bam. Yep, that means Brocky. Brocky Purdy. 13 years ago on this day, January 11, 2013. This is why the point was to put in the mains. I posted, I love coming across the Bay Bridge and seeing Coit Tower beaming bright red. And as the building shining red and gold, repping them dog Niners, Maine. Niner Empire. See, TD, I was saying Maine before Terrence Howard. Man, it cool. 2013, that's the timestamp. I just wanted to
still
prove to
hurts
you.
my soul. I don't care who does it.
I'm just trying to kiss ass so if he ever comes out to the West Coast, I don't get power bombed. Adulting with a side of sarcasm is, I think, what this full page is called, but it says nobody. And it says my brain for no reason whatsoever. And it is the lady from a commercial. Look at that giraffe neck she's got. It looked like she's out stretching it. But it was an old commercial from quite some years ago, and it says my brain for no reason. Who you calling the cootie queen, you linker? You remember that commercial? You
Orbit gum.
remember it.
Nope.
This one's the last one for me for this round is the fresh toast. And it has an AI picture of Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy looking frantic. They're looking around. What's this? And thing 1 or thing 2, whichever one is serving up a plate of green eggs and ham looking frantic. You're like, what? And Kermit says, our son is missing. Have you seen him anywhere? Yeah. Green eggs and ham is not what you thought it was it? Passing
Dude,
it
that's
off to you, Eric.
I think me and some high school kids made up a skit for the talent show that was awfully close to that. That's really
Nice.
I think that was cartooned by a 16-year-old, my friends. All right, the ostensibly interstitial second round, also called number 2. Yeah, hooking it up for you right now. Brought to you by, I had a brought to you by. Yeah. Hey, brought to you by this fun one. We aren't cooked. We aren't doomed. We were made for this moment. Shake it off. Check on your neighbors. Pick up bricks. blacksmith. I just liked it. So it was a fun one. Ostensibly second round. Hey, best and worst of Twitter 2 had this post from best and worst of Twitter 2 had this post from Mary Coey, who reposted the Clash report. Trump on Greenland said the fact that they landed a boat there 500 years ago doesn't mean they own the land. And Mary says, "Boy, do I have something to tell you." Because it's not just geography he doesn't know, it's history or anything, or what he just said coming out of his mouth. Marks underscore the underscore moment at MAGA Morons posted, "Today I filled up my car for about $49. I would like to thank President Trump. Had he not tanked the economy, cut millions of jobs, increased the cost of health care to that of a mortgage payment, created the worst job market since 2003, and charged me $2,000 plus in tariffs, I would not have been able to save $10 on gas." The Day Today Brass Eye Posting has posted this interview. We had a gentleman who's a German journalist, and he's talking to the host, and he says he's done an interview with Donald Trump, and the headline says, "Ist Donald Trump ein Sexmonster?" And, it's clearly he's German. And the interviewer is asking the person who conducted the interview with Trump, he says, "So what language did you conduct this interview in, Peter?" It just struck me as funny. Friend of the show, George, commented that the show The Day Today is very funny, and I looked, it's got one season, so I'm going to watch that later on. My former employer, The Onion, has posted this picture of an ICE agent in those ridiculous red, white, and blue gherkins with orange shades and a bunch of tactical gear. And it says, "Every trait disqualifying ICE agent from previous jobs, ideal for current one." It's true. Here's a post from Saskia J. Whitson, who has posted in controversial political memes for anti-establishment human beings. Has a post here from Rob Delaney, who's got a candle icon. It says, "My cousin Brian passed away last night. After a courageous 3-week stint with ICE, he slipped on a fellow agent's frozen pee-pee puddle and somersaulted many times in the air, yelling, 'Yabba dabba, yabba dabba dabba,' and tragically aspirating a different agent's pee that he'd been gargling. He hated women." Oh, rest in piss. This is one of my favorite guys. I'm so in love with the group. I didn't think the face-eating leopards would eat my face. And here we have a post from Triat M. Chow, who's reposted the Halfway House. It says, "Breaking, top ICE officials are reportedly worried that regular citizens will start using the Minneapolis rationale for self-defense and shoot at every ICE vehicle that drives toward them while claiming they feared for their lives. And angry juries will let them off." Oh, is that not a joke? I thought it was hilarious. Moving on. Oh, hey, that ICE guy that was in the hospital, the ICE agent has been released from the hospital. See him with the big old tampon taped on his ear. You might have had to be there. I was in a lot of conversations with people who was like, that ICE agent was hurt. And you just post this one and say, "It's cool, he's back." Which reminded me of last week's favorite. Gar.zim says, "Quick question. If Trump has been taking 325 milligrams of aspirin for years, how did he not bleed out when he was shot in the ear? I'm not a medical professional, but if you can explain, let me know." iGuyRC says, "Physician here. Aspirin has no effect on fake blood." That's still good. That's still that's a good joke. Moving on. Here's another one that I keep posting on people's arguments. Blame meme for I have sinned. It says he just should have complied. And it's a picture of Jesus. It says, "Jesus died for our sins. He should have obeyed the law." No, that one. It's got the Anyway, that's a fun one. Chris Lewis says, "Why are you resisting? Why are you resisting?" It always makes me think of
This is
why are you-
all I want to say is I completely agree with these. Like, I think that all the posturing around Christianity really misses the fact that like Jesus was executed by the state.
Yeah.
Super important part of the story.
Yeah. An innocent man, no more innocent man could there
Yeah.
be, punished by the state fatally. And they're like, I think the lesson is something about wine and crackers. I don't
Being
know.
pro capital punishment. Like, how are they
Yeah,
still,
big
how
pro
is
capital
Christianity
punishment.
not summarily against, just
Yeah.
100% against capital punishment? Whatever. Yeah.
Well, you'd think after all this time of not finding any logical coherence,
Yeah.
we'd be like, well, I guess they just aren't logically coherent. But we're like, no, maybe I'm missing something. Nope. Moving on. This one was great. I found this video because everybody kept saying, if you look at the video, you can see that the cop should not have been standing in front of the car and should have gotten out of the way. So I went looking, and there's this video of this guy who was almost hit by a car while filming a video about pedestrian safety. He's doing a PSA on jaywalking. The light's red, and this Audi just right past his butt.
Oh.
Like, yeah. And I checked in the Department of Homeland Security manual, and it clearly says that the policy is you got time to shoot, you got time to scoot.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so anyway, I've been posting this into a lot of arguments too. Oh, wait. Hey, you got time to shoot, you got time to scoot. Baird Letters has this post that says somewhere buried in a clogged artery in the world's ugliest man, there's a tiny little clot struggling to break free. I believe in you, little clot. Go, be free. And that has been my ostensibly second round. Handing it back to you, Michael.
I'm just gonna warn you guys, this first one's not funny.
That's all right. Tons of mine aren't funny.
This is from this guy made a lot of
Oh,
cartoons over the last 10 years. Naked Pastor. It's a picture of a Roman soldier nailing Jesus's hands to the cross. Jesus is on the cross, obviously. The cross is laying on the ground. And Jesus looks at the soldier and repeats, or he's saying what were Renee Good's final words,
Oh.
which is, I'm not mad at you.
yeah.
oh,
It's not funny. Sorry. Moving on. Hard Times is back. Friend of the show, the Hard Times. There, picture of Ice Agent, and it says Ice Agent just 3 summary executions away from getting free spicy deluxe sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
oh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So PBS has been on point on social media. I mean, they must have hired just a great hire, whoever they have running their account. Ace Space Astro says whoever running PBS account knows what they doing. PBS says pinning this comment for the next time someone calls me an intern. Princess Tiger Bell says if cats knew what sin was, they wouldn't even care. And I'm Lizzie says I don't care either. Fuck trigonometry. Sorry. Such a stupid joke. I apologize. Stepbro.Steve, we know him, whatever. He posted saying, girlfriend says because we got Chinese yesterday, we can't get it again today. I don't think that makes sense. They do it in China all the time. I've lost this argument, by the way, many times. Why can't we have Mexican food 2 days in a row? That's all they do in Mexico. Dan Carney says, I hate myself for not uploading a 10-hour video of a fireplace or rain to YouTube to YouTube a decade ago. I don't know. I don't know if you guys watch these things, but I love having them on. Like when I'm in school, I have 2 laptops because I have my work computer and my school computer. And
Yeah.
whichever one I'm using, the other one has a fireplace going. It just, I need
Dude,
it.
I do fireplaces with kittens, man. I need it to soothe my soul.
What's
Jesus,
happening to the
Eric.
kittens?
Huh?
What are the kittens doing in the videos?
Kittens are just like, in a basket near,
Oh, okay,
on a
okay,
cushion
okay.
near the fire.
Outside
all-
of the fire.
You got to
No.
specify that because when you said fireplaces and kittens, I just seen burning kittens in it.
Yeah, me
you know
too.
What I mean,
Same.
I
That's
already
'cause that's 'cause I'm a
emailed
terrible
Peter, so
storyteller.
expect repercussions.
Umar wants to know, how do I become a farmer? Like, do I need to apply anywhere or do I just start digging? And I think this is my final meme for this round. Could it be?
Wow. Wow.
Wow, I think
That's a
so.
lot of restraint.
Barrel rolls at barrel_rolls says at the doctor's office, booing all the names being called that aren't mine. And I I do believe this is my last meme. Yeah, it was my last meme for round three, the penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. And it's
Wow.
10:01, so I'm jumping the line. Here comes my post with the most.
That's cheating. It's cheating.
I cheat. Friend of the show, former employer of Eric the Onion, has
Mm.
this picture of this British kid, and the headline reads British teen returning from semester in the United States regales friends with tale of food that tastes good.
Oh,
That's all I've got this week.
wow.
Love you, boys. Love you, George. Back to you, Brane.
That was way too many words for me to understand. I wish Michael would announce when he's cutting and not cutting the line earlier because I like take 8 memes out per third round when he stays on and I like and whenever I take him out before he stays on, I'm like, fuck, I should have left those in and made the round long. He screwed us all again.
I don't think it's
Comes in
longer
late and
time.
then he's like, I'm leaving early. No wonder his wife is mad. Never mind.
I don't have a
Ah.
wife, and I don't think like I don't think that the it takes a different amount of time in the show, does it?
I don't know, but you
10
fucked up my
seconds,
last
maybe.
joke. That joke didn't make sense even without you having a wife. Anyways, we've got
Love you, Brane.
adulting with a side of sarcasm, maybe, and it's two iguanas, two lizards, like one holding the other from behind in like the spooning position. And he says, "Iguana tap it," but I have a reptile dysfunction.
Oh.
Iguana tap it. All right. Keeping it cult has a picture of the Trump rally when he quote unquote got his ear shot off. And the flag says obey, and all of the Secret Service and Trump are
Oh,
the alien sugar skull faces from They Live.
I love this. I
Hell
love
yeah.
this.
And Roddy Piper said before he died that They Live was a documentary. So let's take that for
Oh,
what it's worth.
well,
Here
if
we
Roddy
have
Piper said it.
Anarchist. Michael would have
Hey.
liked that, but fuck him, he's left. So I didn't join. So I didn't join just because he didn't like it. Anyways, it has a picture of someone scratching their hair. It says, "I have oily hair." All of a sudden, the U.S. Army is there, scoping the place out, planting
Looks like somebody's
flags.
hair needs some freedom.
Mhm. And this one is Blamio L. Jackson with the Ethiopian from what was that movie
Captain
again?
Captain
Phillips.
Phillips.
Captain Phillips, but he's got a blonde wig on and he's doing the "you see my eyes, I see your eyes." And so Trump was like,
Uh,
"Look at me. This is my oil now."
oh, man.
Oh.
Oh
Oof.
no, but Mitch Davis shows us what that hair was actually washing out. This is a top pun because we have Denzel washing with soapy fingers on Tom Cruise's head, and it says Denzel washing Tom.
Wow.
Who hurt you?
Yeah.
I like how Eric just said, "Wow." Here we've got Hand of the Meme with the video game Call of Duty, but you have Austin Powers' face photoshopped in on the soldier, and it says Call of Groovy, baby. Shag Ops. Not Black Ops, TD. Shag Ops.
Who hurt you?
I don't know, but Hand of the Meme again with the
Ah.
Call of Duty video game, but it is a cartoon hands of Goofy and cartoon face of Goofy. And this one's Call of Goofy. Yep.
Seek help, please.
Here we have a poster of Stranger Things. Yay! That
Hey.
ended great. Stranger Things ended, and there were a lot of people upset with the ending, saying a lot of things didn't tie together. They assumed and theorized that there would be a surprise episode 9 where everybody was still trapped in Venka's head, and things would untie the wrong way, and we'd not get a happy ending the way we did. That did not come to fruition. It just ended stupidly, just like Game of Thrones. But words hurt. Copy posted, damn, I wish y'all would analyze propaganda as much as y'all analyzing the Stranger Things finale.
That'd be nice. Nice change of pace.
Speaking of change of pace, we got day-to-day memes, and it is a picture of the Lost Boys poster. I hated that movie because my niece watched it 35 fucking times a day, so fuck it, don't tell me how it's a classic. I don't like it. But this one has Flavor Flav photoshopped in it. And we look at the title, it is called The Lost Boy!
Surprised
And Blamio Jackson's
going
to finish this one for me. What was that?
I'm surprised it didn't work in his clock.
Yeah. Blamio L. Jackson's going to finish this round for me because I also hated the Breakfast Club movie because my niece watched that 35 times a day as well. But we see photoshopped in on the face is these nuts guy, and it says don't you forget about these nuts. All right, I'm gonna end it there. Eric, see what you got for me.
You know, easily said it more times during this show than any other, but I hate your puns, but your singing is just enchanting, Brane.
It doesn't translate well to karaoke. So thank you for that compliment.
All right, a lot of Stranger Things in the show tonight, so I thought I'd bring up this story from Superficial. I don't follow him. Has a picture of David Hopper and Pedro Pascal. Did you know that they have known each other since they were 17 years old? David said, we were in the same play and we auditioned for roles. He got the lead even back then. He was so talented and attractive. I've been mad at him for 30 years. I was like, yeah, I could dig everything in this. That's great. Moving on, picture of Sarah Silverman posted in, let's see here, Rachel Wittgenstein's Goldstein's No Astronauts Allowed. And we have a mask ICE agent says, ma'am, do you know why I'm standing here? Sarah Silverman in the car says, you failed your police psych eval? That one's funny because it's true. Moving on. Here we have Scott Baio saying, Scott Baio claims that Hollywood has blacklisted him over the years because of his support for President Trump. I said, oh, his career was really on fire up until then.
Right.
Anti-QAnon memes making a third appearance in the show with a post from Jake Damstra saying, damn, this is deep. So get ready to think about something. Definitely underscore not a fish says, you liberals think Trump is just some megalomaniac who wants more power and is willing to blow up the whole world to get it. But have you ever even considered the possibility that he's trying to save the world by destroying America? All right. Right? That's a wow. Yeah. Eric Blackerby says, I honestly had not even considered this. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. That's woo. Woo! Moving on, here we have a picture of the Orubus. That is the snake that is eating its own tail, but it's on the Don't Tread on Me flag. And it says, oops, I treaded on myself. And this is a commentary on Christine Holmes saying, we can't trust our government anymore. Bash, you are the government. No, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mike Ingram for everyone says, it hurt itself in its confusion. Here we have a guy in sunglasses looking like a douchebag. He says, Renee Good's murder morally justifiable according to men who are okay with pedophilia.
Hey.
Oh.
Zing, pow. Moving on, Representative Thomas Massey has reposted this message from Vice President J.D. Vance. He says, remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal child sex trafficking ring, and then that guy died mysteriously in a jail, and now we just don't talk about it? Thomas Massey says, yeah, seems like it was just yesterday. Yeah. Dana Gould, friend of the show, Dana Gould at Blue Sky Social says, I found a photo of straight patriot Christian 532 and proud MAGA Mama 17, and it's just a wall of cell phones plugged into a network. It says, in case you see them on the street and want to take your argument to the next level, make a mental note. Cortrinia has reposted Lynn, who's reposted Pete Buttigieg, who says, imagine how it'll feel the first time the sun comes up and Donald Trump is no longer the president of the United States. Oh,
No.
take a deep breath. Okay, moving on. This is so funny. Little Marco just keeps getting more and more jobs. He is now the head of the State Department. He's strategist on Cuba. He's going to be governor of Greenland and supreme leader of Iran, as well as viceroy of Venezuela. So, in the words of John the Baptist to his cousin Jesus, you are the one we've been waiting for. Much love and Godspeed, amigo. And people were just crazy with the AI, like trying to figure out kind of universe, what kind of uniform would all those jobs entail? It's got a combination of Iran's flag and Greenland's flag, and he's got some kind of Persian turban and some earmuffs, I guess, for Greenland. It says Spritz at I Am Spritz says, good. I was already concerned that you had too much work on your lap. Do still ask for a raise, though. You deserve it, and the world is more than thankful for you. Here's another one. Too busy running Iran Venezuela. And he's got a turban and a sash and all the medals. And it's just weird. Thank you, Zim, for that chuckle. And closing out with a post from friend of the show and founding Zaddy, George Hussein Crux.
No, shut the fuck up.
Goddamn.
Who's reposted this from The Onion, couple of ICE agents in gas masks, and it says, ICE agent panics after realizing there are more children than he has flashbangs.
No.
That has been my horrendous ending to my was that the third episode? Was that the third? Wow, that was a penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. Handing it back to you, Brane. What you got?
I got 7 years ago on this day, which was actually 3 fucking days ago in 7 years. And I posted this tagging my wife, who actually gave me this meme. I don't know how I tagged her and she didn't tag me, but that's what the memory says. So that's what we're going to go with it. It says, I just learned today that Cardi B's real name is Belcalis Almanzar.
Damn.
I said that shit out loud and my furniture started floating.
Oh, it's awesome. Holy crap. All right, kicking out my my post with the most here as soon as I remember how to do this show. Sometimes I forget, like every time we do a show. My post with the most is a very clever strategy. Very impressed. We have here from I don't know who sent me this, just found in the wild, map of Greenland, and it says, breaking, Denmark has renamed Greenland so that Trump will never talk about it again. Epstein Island is written. I know, you're like, that could actually work. That's just crazy enough. Make it work. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. That constitutes an entire episode of Facebook for the Blind for January 13th, 2026. We love you. Mwah.
Woo! January 13th. That's my stepson Javier's birthday. Happy birthday, Jav.
Hey, happy birthday, Javier.
Woo! Love you, Beverly.
Love you, Beverly.
Perfect. Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.